My grandfather left me a mansion in Ravenwood, but there's a catch. I have to stay for 13 nights to inherit the fortune. It's only night 1, and I think the house is already trying to get rid of me. My name is Angeline, and I thought I was the luckiest girl in the world when I found out I inherited the most beautiful mansion in Ravenwood. My grandfather was a man of many secrets, but his lawyer made the terms of the will very simple. I have to stay in this house for 13 consecutive nights, or the entire fortune and the estate will be forfeited to a mysterious trust I've never even heard of. It's only night 1, and the air in this library feels heavy, like the walls themselves are breathing. I found a dusty seance table in the attic, surrounded by strange black candles that were still warm to the touch. When I sat down to call out to my grandfather, the planchette didn't spell his name or tell me where the gold was hidden. It moved with a violent force I couldn't control, spelling out one single word over and over again, run. I tried to leave, but the front door won't budge, and it feels like the shadows in the corner of the room are moving closer every time I blink. There is a heavy iron casket in the basement that I'm certain was closed when I arrived, but I just heard the unmistakable sound of a silver latch clicking open. I'm starting to realize that I didn't just inherit a house, I inherited a debt that hasn't been paid in a century. Wait for part 2 to see what is waiting for me in the dark. Part 2 of the Bloodline debt. I'm trapped in a house that wants my soul, and I just found out I'm not the only guest. It's night 7 in the Ravenwood mansion, and I haven't slept in 3 days. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the sound of crows scratching at the glass of my bedroom window. I finally met the man who has been living in the servants' quarters, a mysterious caretaker named Silas Thorne. He looks exactly like the man in the portraits from the 1800s, and he hasn't aged a single day since my grandfather's funeral. He handed me a glowing crystal necklace this morning and told me it was the only thing that would allow me to see the truth of this house. When I put it on, the world lost all its color, turning a cold, ghostly gray, and that's when I saw him. The Grim Reaper was sitting at my dining table, as still as a statue, holding an ancient hourglass that is almost empty. Silas leaned in and whispered a warning that chilled me to my core. He told me that the Reaper isn't here to collect my grandfather's soul, because that debt was settled long ago. He is here for the new owner of the Bloodline. Every hour that passes, the house feels like it's pulling the life out of me, and the shadows are no longer just in the corners. They are standing right behind me. Wait for part 3 for the final ritual. Part 3, the final ritual. Tonight is the 13th night, the final hour of the will. The clock is moments away from striking midnight, and the entire mansion is vibrating with a supernatural energy I can't explain. Silas led me down to the lowest level of the basement, where a glowing soul contract was waiting on a silver tray, resting right on top of my grandfather's casket. He told me that to keep the fortune and the land, I don't have to pay a single cent of money. I have to sign away my mortality and agree to become the eternal guardian of this estate. I looked into Silas's eyes and realized the terrifying truth. He wasn't the caretaker at all, but a prisoner who had signed the same contract 100 years ago. He was finally free, and I was the replacement. I felt a cold hand on my shoulder as the Reaper held out a black quill, waiting for my signature. I signed the parchment, and in an instant, the gold appeared and the ghosts vanished. I am now the wealthiest woman in Ravenwood, but when I walked past the grand mirror in the hallway, I saw the most terrifying thing of all. The room was reflected perfectly, the candles were burning bright, but my reflection was completely gone. I have all the money in the world, but I am no longer part of the living. Would you trade your soul for eternal wealth? Let me know in the comments.